Robert Douglas, the 9th of November 1909 to the 11th of January 1999, was born as Robert Douglas Finlayson in Fenny Stratford, Buckinghamshire. He was a successful stage and film actor, a television director and producer. Early career and personal life. He studied at RADA and made his stage debut at the Theatre Royal, Bournemouth in 1927. A year later, he made his first London appearance in Many Waters at the Ambassadors Theatre and went into films the following year. Personal life and death. He was married twice, to actresses Dorothy Hyson, 1914 to 1996, and Suzanne Weldon, 1921 to 1995, fathering two children, Lucinda and Robert Giles. He died from natural causes in Encinitas, California, aged 89. His ashes were scattered into the Pacific Ocean. Career as an actor Theatre 1927. The Best People, Theatre Royal Bournemouth Plus Tour, 1928. Crime, Grand Theatre Croydon Plus Tour, 1928. Many Waters, Ambassadors Theatre London, 1928. Mrs. Moonlight, Kingsway Theatre London, 1929. Blackstreet, Anthony, Strand Theatre London, 1929. A Bill of Divorcement, St. Martin's Theatre London, 1929. Barbara's Wedding, Apollo Theatre London, 1929. Many Waters, in Canada, Maxine Elliott's Theatre, Broadway plus Times Square Theatre Broadway, 1930. The Last Enemy, Fortune Theatre London, 1930. Suspense, Duke of York's Theatre London, 1930. Badger's Green, Prince of Wales Theatre London, 1930. The Last Enemy, Hertford, New Haven plus Schubert Theatre Broadway, 1931. After All, Criterion Theatre London plus the New Theatre London, 1931. The Archduchess, Phoenix Theatre London, 1931. Vile Bodies, Arts Theatre London, 1931. Brief Moment, Detroit, Washington plus Belasco Theatre Broadway, 1932. Vile Bodies, Vaudeville Theatre London, 1932. As It Was in the Beginning, Arts Theatre London, 1933. 10-Minute Alibi, Embassy Theatre London plus Haymarket Theatre London, 1933. These Two, Arts Theatre London, 1934. Men in White, Lyric Theatre London, 1934. Overture 1920. Phoenix Theatre London, 1934. Inside the Room, Queen's Theatre London, 1935. Theatre Royal, The Royal Family, Lyric Theatre London plus Tour, 1935. Most of the Game, Corp Theatre Broadway, 1936. No Exit, Embassy Theatre London plus Street, Martin's Theatre London, 1936. Stubble Before Swords, Globe Theatre London, 1936. Kind Lady, The King's Theatre Edinburgh plus Lyric Theatre London, 1938. Official Secret, Tour plus New Theatre London, 1938. Night Arrival, Globe Theatre London, 1939. The Springtime of Others, Gate Theatre London, 1946. Light An Hour Darkness, New Theatre Hull plus Tour, 1946. He Lived in Two Worlds, Wimbledon Theatre London plus Tour, 1946. But for the Grace of God, Royal Lyceum Theatre Edinburgh plus Tour plus Street, James Theatre London, Film 1931. P.C. Jossa Dear, Milton Rosmer, 1931. Many Waters Dear, Milton Rosmer, 1933. The Blarney Stone, U.S. The Blarney Kiss Dear, Tom Walls, 1935. Death Drives Through Deer. Edward L. Kahn. 1937. Our Fighting Navy. U.S. Torpedoed Deer. Norman Walker. 1937. London Melody. U.S. Girl in the Street Deer. Herbert Wilcox. 1938. The Challenge Deer. Milton Rossmer. 1939. Over the Moon Deer. Thornton Freeland. 1939. The Lion Has Wings Deer. Michael Powell. 1940. The Chinese Bungalow. U.S. Chinese Den Deer. George King. 1947. The End of the River Deer. Derek N. Twist. 1948. The Decision of Christopher Blake Deer. Peter Godfrey. 1948. The Adventures of Don Juan Deer. Vincent Sherman. 1949. The Fountainhead Deer. King Vidor. 1949. The Hasty Heart. Only His Voice. Deer. Vincent Sherman. 1949. The Lady Takes a Sailor Deer. Michael Curtis. 1949. Homicide Deer. Felix Jacobs. 1950. Buccaneers Girl Deer. Frederick de Cordova. 1950. The Flame and the Arrow Deer. Jacques Tourneur. 1950. Kim Deer. Victor Saville. 1950. Spy Hunt. G.B. Panthers Moon Deer. George Sherman. 1950. Mystery Submarine Deer. Douglas Sirk. 1950. Barricade Deer. Peter Godfrey. 1950. This Side of the Law Deer. Richard L. Bear. 1951. Target Unknown Deer. George Sherman. 1951. Thunder on the Hill. G.B. Bonaventure Deer. Douglas Sirk. 1952. At Swords Point. G.B. Sons of the Musketeers Deer. Lewis Allen. 1952. Ivanhoe Deer. Richard Thorpe. 1952. The Prisoner of Zenda Deer. Richard Thorpe. 1953. The Desert Rats Deer. Robert Wise. 1953. Flight to Tangier Deer. Charles Marquis Warren. 1953. Fair Wind to Java Deer. Joseph Kane. 1954. King Richard and the Crusaders Deer. David Butler. 1954. Saskatchewan. G.B. O'Rourke of the Royal Mounted Deer. Raoul Walsh. 1955. The Scarlet Coat Deer. John Sturges. 1955. The Virgin Queen Deer. Henry Costa. 1955. Good Morning Miss Dove Deer. Henry Costa. 1956. Helen of Troy Deer. Robert Wise. 1959. The Young Philadelphians. G.B. The City Jungle Deer. Vincent Sherman. 1959. Tarzan. The Ape Man Deer. Joseph M. Newman. 1961. The Lawbreakers Deer. Joseph M. Newman. Television 1939. The Royal Family of Broadway. 1953. Chevron Theatre. Episode. Serenade to an Empty House. 1955. Lux Video Theatre. Episode. The Browning Version. 1955. Front Row Center. Episode. The Barretts of Wimpole Street. 1957. Panic. Episode. The Vigilantes. 1958-1959. Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Episodes. The Impromptu Murder. Arthur. 1959. General Electric Theatre. Episode. And One Was Loyal. 1959. 77 Sunset Strip. Episode. Eyewitness. 1959-1961. One Step Beyond. Episodes. The Secret. Encounter. Night of Decision. 1959-1960. Adventures in Paradise. Episodes. The Forbidden Sea. Peril at Pitcairn. There is an Island. 1960. Walt Disney Presents The Swamp Fox. Episodes. Redcoat Strategy. A Case of Treason. 1960. Maverick. Episode. The Bundle from Britain. 1961. The Asphalt Jungle. Episode. The Lady and the Lawyer. 1962. Thriller. Episode. The Specialists. 1970. Secret Ceremony. TV version. 1972. Portrait. The Woman I Love. 1974. The Questa Tapes. 1974. Canon. Episode. Triangle of Terror. Uncred. 1975. Columbo. Episode. Troubled Waters. 1975. Medical Center. Episode. Survivors. 1975. The Invisible Man. Episode. Man of Influence. 1978. Centennial. Episode. The Shepherds. As a Director. Theatre 1933. 10-Minute Alibi. Haymarket Theatre London. 1934. Overture 1920. Phoenix Theatre London. 1946. Light an Hour Darkness. New Theatre Hull. 1956. The Ponder Heart. Schubert Theatre New Haven plus Forest Theatre Philadelphia plus Schubert Theatre Boston plus Music Box Theatre Broadway. 1956. Affair of Honor. Ethel Barrymore Theatre Broadway. 1956. The Loud Red Patrick. Walnut Theatre Philadelphia plus Ambassador Theatre Broadway. 1956. Uncle Willie. Locust Street Theatre Philadelphia plus John Golden Theatre Broadway. 1957. One Foot in the Door. Locust Street Theatre Philadelphia plus Schubert Theatre Boston. Film 1964. Night Train to Paris. Television 1960 to 1962. Surfside 6. 9 episodes. 1960. Maverick. 2 episodes. 1960 to 1962. 77 Sunset Strip. 12 episodes. 1961. The Roaring Twenties. Episode The Red Carpet. 1961-1962. Hawaiian Eye. 4 episodes. 1962-1963. Fair Exchange. 1 segment. 1963-1964. The Alfred Hitchcock Hour. 4 episodes. 1962. The Virginian. Episode The Final Hour. The Final Hour. Film. 1965. Kraft Suspense Theatre. Episode Kill Me on the 20th of July. 1964-1965. Court Martial. 3 episodes. 1965 to 1967. 12 O'Clock High. 16 episodes. 1966. The Fugitive. Episode Second Sight. 1966. Daniel Boone. Episode The Matchmaker. 1967. Lost in Space. Episode The Toymaker. 1967. Mission Impossible. Episode The Diamond. 1967. The Monroes. 2 episodes. 1967 to 1974. The FBI. 13 episodes. 1967-1968. The Invaders. Episodes The Prophet and Counterattack. 1969-1970. Adam 12. 6 episodes. 1970. The Immortal. 2 episodes. 1970. Dan August. Episode Invitation to a Murder. 1972 to 1975. The Streets of San Francisco. 4 episodes. 1972-1973. Canon. 5 episodes. 1974. Barnaby Jones. 2 episodes. 1974. Shazam. 4 episodes. 1974-1975. Medical Center. 5 episodes. 1975. Swiss Family Robinson. Episode The Pit. 1975 to 1978. Beretta. 9 episodes. 1976. City of Angels. 2 episodes. 1976. Columbo. Episode Old Fashioned Murder. 1976–1977. Big Hawaii. Episode Tightrope. 1977. Future Cop. 2 episodes. 1977. Hunter. Episode Yesterday. Upon the Stair. 1977. The Man from Atlantis. Episode The Naked Montague. 1978. Quincy. M.E. Episode Double Death. 1979–1981. Trapper John. M.D. 4 episodes. 1979. Nobody's Perfect. 4 episodes. 1982. House Calls. 2 episodes. 1982. Fame. Episode A Big Finish. As a producer. 1963–1964. The Alfred Hitchcock Hour. 8 episodes. 1964–1965. Court Martial. 10 episodes. Robert Douglas on IMDb. Robert Douglas at the Internet Broadway Database. Robert Douglas at Find a Grave.